Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 uh, uh, Monday Night Football postgame show. Well, the Kirk Cousins let the ball fly to Jordan Addison earlier than he wanted to in the face of an all-out San Francisco blitz in the closing seconds of the second quarter from Minnesota bracing for the worst after realizing the pass was underthrown. Addison was the tug of war battle this time with the 49ers cornerback uh, Charvius Ward and spun away for a 60-yard touchdown. And the Vikings finally pulled out a victory after these three straight losses at home. I thought I thought it was getting picked. Cousins said, "I still don't know how Jordan came away with the victory." And the 49ers did beat the Minnesota beat the San Francisco 49ers 22-17 last night at uh, US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Cousins connected with Addison for two first half scores. Cameron Bynum intercepted Brock Purdy twice in the fourth quarter, and the Vikings held on to beat the 49ers 22-17 on Monday night. Uh, one play here, one play there. We've had some tough losses, said Cousins, uh, who went 35 for 45 for 378 yards and no sacks last year. We were fortunate enough to pull them out. We found a way tonight. Uh, Christian McCaffrey scored twice for the 49ers, uh, who are now 5-2, who gave a two-time who have a two-game losing streak for just the second time in 2 years. We came in with the right mindset, said Purdy, who went 21 for 30, carries and attempts for 272 yards. And we've just got to execute better. Addison stepping up in a big way with his superstar wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, sidelined by a hamstring injury, had 7 catches for 123 yards in his breakout performance on a primetime stage. And he sure did. And the Vikings just really dominated this game from the get-go. And they just really they just kept just dominating, and they could not be overthrown. I'm sorry about that. I know you heard my voice, but I had to get up for a minute. Uh, and The play of the game came with on a 3rd and 6 with 16 seconds left before halftime when the 49ers sent three extra rushers. The fight for the ball with Ward was earlier similar to the opening uh, drive of the game uh, when Cousins threw to Addison over the middle where it was wrestled away by Ward to hang the Vikings with their fourth opening drive turnover in 7 games. I needed that one, Addison said. I couldn't let him get it twice. The first round draft pick from USC, who left the game briefly with leg cramps, also had a 14-yard reception on 3rd and 4 on a drive that could have sealed the game for Minnesota, who have gone to 3-4 in the season. But Greg Joseph, who also missed an earlier extra punt, pulled a 50-yard field goal wide right with no timeouts and 1:11 left. The 49ers took possession at their 40. Purdy, who was picked off with 5:30 remaining at the Minnesota 30 after an off-target pass intended for uh, Jawan Jennings, completed for completed two short. Jamon Jennings completed two short throws to reach the Minnesota 40, but Bynum's zeroed in on a pass over the middle for Ray McLeod, the third, and leaped in front of him for the interception. Uh, Obviously, our season isn't going as well as we'd like it to, but nothing's better than bouncing back from adversity and stacking wins up, uh, Bynum said. Uh, the 49ers were still the favorite to win, uh, who are still the favorite to win the Super Bowl after a 1970 defeat last week at Cleveland. Uh, Played without wide receiver Deebo Samuel and left tackle Trent Williams, both of whom were hurt in that ugly game. Purdy uh, bounced back from the worst game of his young NFL career and his first regular season loss as a starter, but those late interceptions will sting. Minnesota's defense also avenged that mistake, excuse me, that McCaffrey lost the ball at the Minnesota 11 on the ensuring possession when Bynum and Harrison Smith converged on the NFL's leading rusher. Smith was credited for the forced fumble, his third of the season, to tie a career high, and Dean Lowry recovered. Excuse me. I made a bad mistake today that I believe cost us the game, McCaffrey said. That was the first time in 7 games this season the 49ers failed to score on their first drive to portend their mistake-filled game. Addison's first touchdown, a perfectly placed 20-yard pass into the hole in the end zone coverage after Cousins' audible was the first allowed by the 49ers in this first quarter this season. Against that team, that's a big time quarterback play in mind, Coach Kevin O'Connell said. Jake Moody, who missed a 41-yard field goal in the closing seconds that would have won it at Cleveland, pulled a 40-yard attempt wide right in the second quarter that later converted from 55 yards. McCaffrey, the only player in the league with a touchdown in every game this season, has a scoring streak of 16 straight games, including 22-23 playoffs. He's one game short of Lenny Moore's all-time record from 1963-64. Cousins on the 300-yard mark for the 50th time in his 12-year career. Only 4 others have done that by their 12th season. Drew Brees, 67, Matt Ryan, 64, Peyton Manning, 56, and Kurt Warner, 52. There were some injuries. 49ers, the linebacker Demetrius Flanagan, Foles, departed after an ankle injury that occurred while covering the third quarter kickoff. Linebacker Dre Greenlaw has a hamstring had a hamstring injury, returned from a one-game absence. For the Vikings, linebacker Brian Asmoa limped off after a coddling on the kickoff with Flanagan, Foles, and line guard Ezra Cleveland has a foot injury, didn't play, replaced by Dalton Reisner. The 49ers host Cincinnati this coming Sunday, and the Vikings visit Green Bay on Sunday. But the Vikings they really dominate. They really played hard this game, and they came away with the victory. So I give the game balls to the Minnesota Vikings. I'm having some. Oh. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties here. I am sorry. And I am going to give the game balls out. I need to. There we go. Kirk Cousins, 35 of 45 passing attempts, 378 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Uh, 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 I think it's Alexander Madison, uh, 8 attempts, 39 yards, and Jordan Addison. I think it's Jordan Addison. Yeah, Jordan Addison. 7 receptions, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. But this was one of those games. San Francisco just fell short again, and they struggled. But hopefully they can bounce back against Cincinnati. So, and I took San Francisco, so did my brother-in-law, and we both lost on that game. My brother-in-law won; he was 7-6, and unfortunately, I was 3-10 this week. Well, we get to week 8. We'll look ahead to week 8, and kicking it off on Thursday Night Football will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Buffalo Bills at Bills Stadium in Buffalo. Uh, and we have some great Sunday matchups. The Browns play the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle at Lumen Field. Uh, the New York Jets face the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium in New York. Miami goes to Foxborough to play New England. Jacksonville travels to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Kansas City will play Denver. Baltimore and Arizona. Cincinnati plays the 49ers, as I mentioned. Chicago plays the Chargers on Sunday night. Oh, there is no. The Chicago Los Angeles Chargers game is the Sunday night game this week. So that should be a pretty good game. And then Monday Night Football. The LA Raiders travel to Detroit to Ford Field to play the Detroit Lions. So we'll have a lot of great action this week. But San Francisco, the Minnesota Vikings beat the 49ers 22-17. That's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football postgame show. I'll be back with the Thursday Night Football pregame show on Thursday. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.